Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lost Signal, where an overly ambitious YouTuber pretends that he's a late night TV channel with a bad signal and recording his footage on a baked potato. I am this overly ambitious YouTuber. I am NR, and I welcome you. Today we have something a little bit different. No, we're not playing a fighting game today, people, but we are playing a Capcom game. This is Dungeons & Dragons, Chronicles of Mystara. Mystara, I can't really pronounce it, so Mystara. And it is a compilation of the two Dungeons & Dragons games, what was created and developed by Capcom. And just like Capcom during the early days, they made some really nice, colorful, and fun games, especially when it came to their beat-em-ups and fighting games, I would say. And this game is no exception. This game's a lot of fun, and it's really ambitious. Capcom does a really good job trying to stick to source material when it comes to working with IPs what do not belong to them. What I mean by that is Tales of Mystara does bring a lot of elements of Dungeons & Dragons, such as the weapons, the spells, the classes you play, and so on. It's actually pretty well done, and I tip my hat to Capcom for that, and that is pretty cool. This was an arcade game, but it has recently been ported over to PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. Those who enjoy playing beat-em-up games and those who enjoy playing Dungeons & Dragons, I highly recommend getting this game. If you just play Dungeons & Dragons, you jump into this game, you may be slightly disappointed with what this game is. It is clearly not an RPG, and this game will test your skills on beat-em-ups, because this game is difficult. I find it pretty difficult. I think it is because you have so much varied of characters, options, and spells in this game that the game tries to make your life a tad bit difficult. Not only that, they give you a block button so you could take reduced damage. But yeah, like I said, good game. One of Capcom's shining moments during the '90s of them making top-notch games. Yeah. I got this game as a gift from a player who I DM'd Pathfinder with, and he actually liked my little adventure so much that he actually asked for my Steam account, and he gifted me this just for a little thank you for the game, for hosting a game. And to be honest, that was nice of him. I felt that he didn't have to gift me this, but it's fun nonetheless. As you already could tell, and if you're one of my viewers who regularly watch my videos, I highly doubt it. I'm a ghost on YouTube. I normally on my downtime, or I used to run D&D games or Pathfinder games. Pathfinder is just D&D, but with slightly different mechanics. So I used to run Pathfinder games. I actually had a long campaign that lasted for 2 years until I ran out of steam and kind of lost interest, and players moved on, and that's fair enough. Most of the time these games don't last forever. So yeah, I enjoyed DMing, but I also really enjoy playing the games. I actually like being a player more than a GM. As a GM, as you could tell from two letters every time we play Vermin Type 2, he always brings up or mentions that I was a pretty insane GM. That in a way of me trying difficult fights, or me just being a complete and utter tosser. It's I think that's just default of being a GM, especially when you're early GM. You're overly ambitious, and you want to take these cool little monsters. You want to put your characters in put your friends in weird scenarios, and then but in general, it's kind of a mess. But after that phase of just just starting playing the game, and you actually get a handle of all the mechanics and stuff like that, like your next game is going to be more refined, more exciting, and your friends are going to enjoy it more. And so far, I've did that. I actually had a small little adventure plan with 3 of my friends. Sadly, we didn't finish it due to one of my friends being really focused on school, and another one just working quite a bit. So, life does get in the way with these things, but it's not a problem. C'est la vie. I had my fair share of Dungeons and Dragons and slaying monsters and rolling 1s and rolling 20s in weird, opportune times. Yeah, I actually still have my books with me, and every now and then I take a look at it, like just for the art and just for the flavor text. Like I said, it was a cool pastime to have, and I really do enjoy it. But yeah, speaking of RPG games, I am craving to play a good RPG. I haven't played a decent RPG game for a while. I am not going back to Skyrim because I played that game to the bone, and I bet everyone else had played that game to the point where they could quote every single character in the game. Oh man, like Skyrim is kind of the dead horse of RPGs, and to be honest, when I heard that they're re-releasing Skyrim on the Switch, sorry folks. Yeah, like I said, sorry about that. It's pretty late or early, depending how you see it. Yeah, when they released Skyrim on the Switch and they also re-released Skyrim VR, I was saying to myself, are you serious? Bethesda, we're really getting tired of this. And also Skyrim Special Edition. Like, all this news is kind of old though, but it is just kind of annoying. Like, E3 is going to be coming around the corner, and Bethesda has to show us some goods. Yeah, to show us some goody goods. Because so far, I am tempted. I am all willing and ready to play the next Elder Scrolls game or the next Fallout game, unless the Fallout game is going to play exactly like Fallout 4, then maybe not. But yeah, like I said, I'm just looking for a new RPG game to play, and also looking for a new RPG game for my channel. Yeah, I'm actually going to do another Let's Play. As you could tell, my Let's Play at Pit People is already ended. I'm kind of done. Some people have already told me that you should play the New Game Plus and get the true ending. I saw the true ending of it, and it's nothing different. It's just the true ending is just nothing different, and I'm not that much of a completionist unless the ending will really blow my mind away and it will hint to a sequel. But yeah, so as I brought up, I'm actually going to be getting Ni no Kuni 2, just because when I first saw the game, I just really liked the art of it. Studio Ghibli, I believe Studio Ghibli is drew and animated the game. I liked Studio Ghibli and all those stuff, so I'm gonna give it a try. Also, at the same time, it's just so damn colorful. Like, how could I say? Like, I'm a sucker for these things. Like, if you know me as a person, most people know that I'm not really a person who wears that much color, seeing that I live in Canada, and most of the time I wear jackets and coats and sweaters, and most of the time it is all black, or sometimes I wear white, so I'm mostly a person of shades. But one thing I do love, I love color. I love variety, and when there's a video game that shows me beautiful graphics with a lot of color, I am drawn in like crazy. So one of the reasons why I really like old Capcom games, because they're full of color, vibrancy, and like art, vibrancy, and they're just delicious eye candy. Like, seriously, if Capcom games were candy, they would literally just be assortment of Jolly Ranchers. So I just really like the color of the game, and it brings it out. And seeing in this game industry these days, there's not much color in our games as much. Like there's the illusion of color. How could I give it, like, there's color, but there's always like a dark background, or a darker shade, or a very let's go again, a very grade filtered in some games. There hasn't really been games with any bright colors, and I understand that color also represents the mood, but if you're a game who's focusing themselves on action and the spectacle of it, you always have to use it is always good to use color. And the one thing about Ni no Kuni 2 is that it is actually a real-time combat system, and thank God, because I don't think I could play any other game with turn-based system, just because turn-based system, I just grew out of it. It's annoying, and I'd rather just play like real time. Oh God, it's late. I'd rather just play a real time combats in my RPGs, just because. But I also may lean towards playing Final Fantasy 15, and that just came out on PC, and I don't know, that just looks fun as well, but I'm just not into the whole Backstreet Boys themed, look like boy band, like pop, old boy bands, and to be honest, I'm just like, it's Square Enix being very Japanese, like, it's very, very Japanese anime. Like, the characters are super anime, to the hair, to their behaviors. But, like, I heard that the gameplay is pretty cool, the story's pretty cool, and I'm considering just giving it a try. Giving it a bit of a try, but we'll see. But I'm mostly leaning on Ni no Kuni 2. And this is me poking the shopkeep. Usually she says something like, "Don't touch me." Quiet woman, I'm saving your village. But yeah. So yeah, it's just the game's color aspect draws me in. Different types of game modes and so on. So I'm definitely going to do a let's play of that. And this time it's fully voiced, so you guys don't have to hear me stutter or struggle with certain wordings. And if you guys think that I shouldn't be playing games with only text, I don't blame you. Trust me, dyslexia is not really an easy thing to overcome. Ooh, hello. Fun fact, I actually thought that was a a chick, but no, they're all dudes. Yep. Oh, this is actually a fun level. I actually really enjoy this one. Sorry if I'm jumping back and forth, but yeah, I really enjoyed this level. This is where you fight drow. And if you don't know what drows are, they're dark elves. They're really into BDSM, spiders, dark places, and anything what's Linkin Park. Their government is run by what's the word when it's a female leader? I don't know. Monarchy? No, it's not monarchy. I'll remember when it comes to my head. So yeah, essentially all the men are like warriors, warriors, fighters, and all these stuff, and gladiators, while like women have higher positions of power. So, and they usually capture wild beasts and, and actually put them in their gladiatorial arenas and so on and so forth. But yeah, so I really like this level because there's drows all over the place. You have to fight them while there's a boss. I find this really, really thrilling and exciting every time I play this. And every time I play this level, it's just lots of fun. So yeah, yeah, it's just not much. just really would like to try RPG game. I haven't really found one. An open world game would be nice. Open world RPG game would be nice, so I could like sink my teeth into something, sink my teeth into something explorative and exciting. Something like, you know, like I said, a new Elder Scrolls game or a Fallout game with Fallout game with RPG aspects, because Fallout 4 had near and no RPG aspects towards it. It was just a really fancy shooter, well, a shooter with RPG elements. And I feel that the Fallout game should be an RPG first and a shooter second. Some of you may disagree, but your opinions don't matter here. Yeah. But yeah, I just didn't I play Fallout 4 just because it's fun. It's a fun shooter. It's the combat is just liquid gold. I just really enjoy running around and shooting people. So I'm not so big on the settlement building system, because I really felt that they just put all their eggs in one basket into that system, and I really felt that it could have been adapted way more on. And Preston Garvey, that's all I have to say. Preston Garvey. I can't believe, and right now Fallout 4 is starting to fall into obscurity. It is reaching its life cycle, and it is right now a perfect time to see some fresh blood. I heard that Obsidian is working on their own open world RPG. What is it called? I have Starfield or whatever. And it's supposed to be very reminiscent of New Vegas, like the RPG aspects of New Vegas. And that sounds a lot like fun, but like I said, it's on the back burner, and I'm probably not holding my breath, waiting for it. But hopefully, if it does come out, I really hope it's good. I'll put in money into that, because Obsidian hasn't really disappointed me when it comes to RPG games, especially when it comes to, drum roll please. If you didn't hear that, that was a drum roll. Pillars of Eternity. I enjoyed Pillars of Eternity. I didn't put much hours into Pillars of Eternity, but I played it. I loved it, and the only issue I have with it. Oh god, yeah. Why am I yawning? Sorry, folks. Like I said, broadcasting this on a very wee hours of the night. Yep. I really enjoyed the game. The only issue, I feel that it was way too much text, but you know, that's just dyslexic problems. I felt there was just way too much text in the game, and they were really ambitious on world building to the point where they expected us to know what's going on in the first 5 minutes of the game. So there was a time when I was like, who are these guys? What are you talking about? Where am I? What is this? So there was a lot of things to be answered, and a lot of this could have been answered in the flavor text in the books you find, or the people you read their minds, or should I say reading their souls, and then you kind of just kind of understand what's going on. But right away the game kind of rushes you into the story head first, to the point where you just don't really know what's going on. It's not really the best way to tell a story, but and that's how they did it. But yeah, but when I started playing the game was fairly difficult, but it was fun, and and they borrowed a lot of aspects from Dungeons and Dragons, so there was a lot of things I was pretty well versed on. So I knew what to do. I knew what to do. I knew what to put my points in. So there was no rush. One thing the game did for you was one thing, if you had enough monies, monies and you didn't like where your character was going, involving build, you could spend some money to re-roll your character, and if you didn't want to use any story characters in the game, you could buy mercenaries and build the mercenaries, name them, and so on. So there was times where I was actually playing playing like a very intense playthrough where when your characters dies, they don't come back anymore. So I remember playing a playthrough where I named every single character I made after my friends, and I told them about this. And these are the same friends I play Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder with. I told them about this, and they just thought the worst. They just thought the worst. It's like, for the love of God, NR, make sure you we don't die saving your ass. And the majority of times they did. But yeah, it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny, like seeing proxies named after my close friends being torn to shreds, cursed, incinerated, and just getting ripped to pieces just right in front of me. I think I might just be a sociopath. So yeah, Pillars of Eternity, they're just releasing Pillars of Eternity 2, and I am pretty hyped, just because Pillars of Eternity 1 was so fun, and now Pillars of Eternity 2 is coming out, and they're continuing from where they left off. But you're going to a whole different world, and it's very sea-based, so it's very like pirate-based. But they do mention they're gonna bring back some characters, especially one character where you first meet. I forgot his name, but he's a fighter character, and I felt that he was the most interesting character of them all. And keep in mind, for me, I don't really like knight characters or like fighting or just fighters in general when it comes to RPGs. Just the fighters, because fighters, the only thing they do is like, what do you do? It's like, we're fighters, we fight. Unlike other classes, would also like specialize in different fields. Like the fighter just fights. They don't have any like anything what actually helps them outside of combat. So most of the time when you are playing a role-playing game, when there's a fighter and you have some downtime, the fighter's either upgrading his weapons or just sucking his thumb or picking bar fights. Yeah, so it's just like role-playing aspect. Like I just feel like the fighter isn't very interesting class in a nutshell. That goes for wizards as well. Wizards also are very notorious of being just that. Let's go get one that class only does one thing good. In the new D&D edition, they fixed that. Fighters are not just due to just beat things up, but they beat things up with a certain style, finesse, and they also get and how the game is made. They actually could actually put points and skills into varied stats, skills, and all these things. So you could be a fighter with cast spells. You could be a fighter who's pretty good at acrobats. You could do all these things. So it varies the fighter, and you don't have to play generic fighter 1,060,000. So yeah. Oh god, this is the problem with this videos. I always lose track of my subject, especially when I talk about one thing and then it leads to another. So yeah, the fighter in Pillars of Eternity, they're bringing him into the second game, and I would say that's pretty cool. I'm actually pretty happy to see that, and I'm looking forward to what they would have to offer. They said that they're going to have new races, new areas. Hopefully there will be a little bit more voice acting. Just because dyslexia. I may do a let's play on that. I'm not making this official. I'm not making this official, but I may or may not do a Let's Play on it. And to be honest, I'm very much looking forward in doing this. But yeah, but at the same time, people are also telling me, try not to alienate your audience. And what is that so far, the majority of times, my channel, I'm doing nothing but Street Fighter V videos and showing matches and fighting game videos. And people say, be careful, you don't want to alienate your audience by showing RPGs and tactics games. And, you know, that is true. I see where they're coming from, and their criticism is very well warranted. The thing is that I would like to branch out a bit, and at the same time, I haven't really gained an audience per se. I only have 14 subscribers, so I don't really think I'm going to lose any subs anytime soon. And if I do, come on, my channel's a ghost in the big YouTube machine. I am essentially a nobody. I do not exist. I am just a blimp. I am just a speck of dust on the radar screen. So yeah, but I just like to introduce interesting and just something different and new. And as much as I'm making videos on YouTube, I would like to try to diverse a little bit, trying to diverse myself a bit, and try something else so I could target another audience. Keep in mind, my channel is a gaming channel. It's not a street fighting channel. It's not a fighting game channel. It's a gaming channel. It just so happens I play a lot of Street Fighter and I record a lot of Street Fighting videos. So yeah. So people, the signal's dying down. The signal's dying down, folks. I'm getting tired and the sun's rising soon. So I'm gonna be wrapping this up pretty soon right now. So I'm just going to give you a few heads up on what is to come on my channel. So far, Ni no Kuni 2. That will be I'm getting that game next week, and I'll start doing a Let's Play around what it would be. I think around the 9th or the 8th of May. Another thing, I'm also working on introduction video for my channel, so keep an eye on that if you're interested to know what I'm going to be doing with my introduction and how I'm going to present myself. I know it's going to be bloody hard because I stuttered like Jeff Goldblum on a caffeine addiction. And also, I'm actually going to do a top 5 video. That will be around late May or early June. So keep an eye on that. I'm going to be doing a top 5 of improvements of Street Fighter V. And by improvements, I don't mean gameplay wise. I'm talking about improvements on what arcade editions could help the game out quite a bit, because I feel that arcade mode, Street Fighter, I feel that Street Fighter Arcade Edition, it's very much lacking, and they could add some content or some mechanics to introduce casual players and increase the pop count of Street Fighter V, and also make it a very, very memorable game. Instead of it being, well, mostly hinting towards competitive players. Keep in mind, casuals are very necessary in the fighting game community. You may not believe it, but it's true. So I'm losing signal here, and I will see you guys later. This is NR, signing out.